All right. Hello, everybody. How's it going? This is Immigration Attorney Mamita. I'm coming to you live to talk to you about immigration and to see the questions that you may have on your mind today. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mamita Rahman, and I am an immigration attorney. I have been practicing immigration law for the past 15 years, and it is my pleasure to do the work that I do because I believe that immigrants make America great already. So thank you for joining. If you are a current client, thank you for being a client and for trusting us with your case, and also for your continued patience as we work through all of the hurdles thrown our way by this government and by this president. And if you are a new viewer, welcome to my channel, welcome to my live. Nice to meet you. Let me know what country you're from. I always love to hear where everybody is from because I really appreciate the diversity of my clients because it reflects to me who has come to America and why America is so great with the combined power of all of us immigrants. All right. So today I want to actually start off with a very important topic. And that is for all of you out there who are undocumented and who are working, because let's face it, pretty much all of us are working. And the problem is not that you're working, but the problem is the fact that if you are working for somebody who is a person who is taking advantage of your situation as somebody without papers. So if you are an undocumented immigrant, and your boss has basically threatened to ruin your reputation, they could do this in so many ways. They could literally tell you that you better not leave this job because I know every other employer in town and I will make it so that you cannot get a job elsewhere. They could say to you, they could guilt trip you and say, oh, you are so lucky that I gave you a job because nobody else in town would give you a job because you have no papers. Or your boss can literally say to you that, wow, I'm very good friends with all these people, and the last person that used to work for me that went against me or that left me, well, guess what? They're no longer employed by anybody in town because I know everybody. If your boss has threatened to ruin your reputation, where, if you leave them or if you don't listen to them or if you don't do a good job, this is something that you have to pay close attention to. When an employer threatens to ruin your reputation, what they're essentially doing is that they're basically telling you that they're going to keep you. They want you to stay with them, right? And if you leave them, they're going to make your life miserable. They're going to make your life hard. They're going to make it so that you cannot survive outside of working for them. And when that is said to somebody who is undocumented, what that ends up doing to you is it keeps you working for that person, not because you want to work for them, but because you fear the consequence of what is going to happen to your livelihood and your ability to support yourself and your family if you leave. And believe it or not, this is actually a sign of human trafficking. And if you have experienced this anytime in the past, or if you are experiencing it as of right now, you may be eligible for something called a T visa. And a T visa is something that is very important that every immigrant should know about because almost every immigrant works. And especially if you are somebody without papers, you may be more at risk of already being paid low wages, right? You may already not be paid properly for your time. You may be paid low wages. But what happens is when the employer, on top of not paying you properly, on top of not paying you minimum wage or overtime or not letting you take a break, when they keep you in your job and you stay in your job because you fear what will happen to you if you don't listen to your employer, that rises to a new level and you may be eligible to file for immigration relief as a result. And the T visa is something that is very important. It is a non-immigrant status. And after you hold it for a period of 3 years, you are eligible to file for residency and a green card and therefore be on your pathway to become a citizen. And the other reason why the T visa is so important is that, number one, you do not need an employer to sponsor you. You do not need a family member to sponsor you. Even if you have an unlawful entry or the permanent bar or a false claim to citizenship or even a removal order, this is still something that can help you be on your way to residency in the future. So bottom line is that if you have been staying in your job because of what you fear your boss doing to you, if you don't stay with them, It's something that you need to look into, okay? And you can give us a call, 212-248-7907, okay? 212-248-7907. The other thing that I want to talk about is if you are not working for somebody, but you are in a relationship with somebody, right? I want to talk about this in the context of somebody who, if you're undocumented and you're in a relationship with somebody and your partner or your family member or your spouse or your fiance, boyfriend, whoever they are, they make you do all the work. They make you do all the work. They treat you like a servant. They're literally just using you for your labor. And they keep you in that position because they tell you, well, hey, what's going to happen? I'm going to divorce you, and you know what's going to happen to you. People are going to look down upon you in the community. If your family member or your partner is saying these things to you as well, that is also threatening to ruin your reputation. And it's the same concept. It is the same concept. It can also be a sign of human trafficking, which can lead to a visa status and a green card in the future, okay? 212-248-7907. 212-248-7907. Okay, great. So let's go ahead and see what questions we have today from Dina. Dina Hus, any interviews for I-751 VAWA? Yes, absolutely. If you have filed an I-751 application to remove the conditions on your resident card, if you are requesting a waiver, whether it's a waiver due to divorce or a waiver due to the extreme cruelty or battery that you suffered during the course of your marriage to a U.S. citizen, you may in fact be called in for an interview with USCIS. And in fact, just last week, we had 2 interviews for I-751s. They were both based upon extreme cruelty and battery. One of them already got approved, actually, so congratulations to my client that got approved. And the other one, we're still waiting for a result. We have another one next week that's based upon divorce. So if you have filed an I-751 based upon marriage to a United States citizen, but you're requesting a waiver of the joint filing requirement because you're no longer with your spouse, maybe you got divorced, or maybe your spouse is just, they're not going to help you because they're trying to make your life miserable. They told you that they want you to get deported. They told you that you don't deserve a green card. They're cheating on you. They're just controlling your life, or they're hurting you in different ways. These are reasons why you may be able to file by yourself without your spouse. And what you should expect is, number one, these cases take a long time. When you file your I-751 application, you will automatically receive a 48-month extension of your 2-year resident card. Why do they give you a 48-month extension? Because USCIS is literally telling you that they are going to take a long time to make a decision. And during these 4 years, you may be given a request for evidence, you may be asked to come in for an interview, or you may be approved even without any of that. So it is very, very normal. Don't be afraid. And if you need our help on filing your I-751, this is something that we do regularly. We have filed hundreds of very complex I-751 cases that other attorneys won't even take, that other attorneys have gotten denied. I cannot tell you how many people have come to us with I-751s they filed with other attorneys that got denied. So many people have come to us after being placed in removal proceedings and being told they have to go in front of a judge to prove that their marriage was not fake, okay? 212-248-7907. Doito, muchas gracias. Thank you so much for the little castle. That was so cute. Zelina, thank you for the rose. Thank you, everybody, for the gifts. And just so you know, I'm going live on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, so I appreciate everybody's patience as I answer these questions. Doito, you could join. I mean, you could join, but I'm like afraid of people being inappropriate if they join. So that's why I decline all of the join requests. All right. Do you take clients from any state? I'm in California from Maria Elena. Maria Elena, yes, we do. So just so everybody knows, I am based in New York City. Our main office is in New York City, but we take clients all over the United States. It doesn't matter to us what state you're in. In fact, we have a high number of clients from California, Florida, Texas, New Jersey, all the states in between. I'm pretty sure we have, I don't know if we have clients in every single state, but we have a high percentage of clients and in different states. So not all of our clients are based out of New York, and we work virtually with all of our clients. We want to make life easy for you. We don't, the old way of doing things, when I was younger and I was, before I was ever in law school, the lawyers, they would make you come to their office, make you sit there for hours and hours while they wait to see you. And that's a big waste of time. You have things to do. You have work, you have children to take care of, and we want to make life easier for you, okay? We do things, we do all of our appointments by phone or by video, and we have a secure online portal through which we give and send documents. We try to do everything that we can to make life easy for our clients, okay? So it doesn't matter to us where you are, as long as you want to work with us and we can work with you on your case, we would love to assist you, okay? And it makes a very big difference, if you're working with a lawyer who cares about your case. At my firm, one of the most important things to me, I hire people and I keep people in this firm based upon the commitment that I see on their part to our clients. Because if you're not caring about the clients and about what happens to their future, then you're not going to fight hard for them. And every single person here deserves an attorney and a legal team who's going to fight for them, who's going to care for them, and who's not just going to take their money and run, okay? I'm not interested in this for the money. I'm interested in this for the way that I can change people's lives. And everybody deserves to be respected and have a sense of hope in their lives, okay? 212-248-7907. Lovely Esme, I have cancer and I would like to start my husband's status. Would my diagnosis help in the process? I'm terrified he'll be deported. Lovely Esme, I'm so sorry to hear about your diagnosis. One way that your diagnosis could help is based upon what you have, you can probably ask for your case to be expedited, right? So it may not help in the overall approval, but it can definitely help speed the case along. I think that's an urgent humanitarian and medical reason to ask for an expedite, okay? Lovely Esme, and just for anyone who knows, if you're interested in getting your case processed faster, you have to show proof of a medical emergency or an urgent humanitarian reason. You can pretty much ask for expedites of almost everything, but you have to give proper documentation. You have to basically supply the argument that why your case deserves this special attention, okay? Pretty girl, how long is VAWA taking to get approved? And do you have to go in for an interview for VAWA? From Pretty Girl. Hello, Pretty Girl. I think I haven't seen you in a long time. So VAWA's, actually, what we are seeing right now is that VAWA cases are taking between 3 to 4 years to approve, and then another, 6 months to a year for the I-485 to be processed. And are we seeing interviews on the VAWAs? No, not on the VAWA itself. The I-360 is still not really getting interviews, but the I-485 part of your case, if you're filing for a green card, once your VAWA is approved, you may very well see an interview on your I-485. At my office, I had to talk about this with a client yesterday because I'm traveling next week to another interview in Oregon for a client, and I was asked why do I have an interview? And really, the honest truth is that I think it boils down to jurisdiction. For example, like here in New York, not a lot of clients. I still feel like not a lot of clients are getting interviews, but everywhere else, clients are just getting called for interviews. It doesn't matter, if you have a clean case or a straightforward case or there's a complication in there. Okay, so don't be scared about the fact that you might get an interview. People are afraid of interviews. But really all an interview usually is it's just an administrative part of your case. It's just like a box the officer has to tick off in getting your case approved, okay? And Doyito, I'm so happy to see you. I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Do I need a legal entry for him to petition me? I have DACA from Marisol. Marisol, that's a very good question. If you're married to a United States citizen, if you want to be petitioned by your spouse and not leave the United States, yes, you do need to have a legal entry. If you have DACA, the number one thing to kind of look at is to see, number one, how old were you when you got it? Number two, how did you come into the United States? Because just because you have DACA doesn't necessarily mean you did not have a lawful entry. But if you don't have a lawful entry and you do have DACA, one of the things that you could still do is you could ask for something called advance parole. Now, advance parole is just a temporary permission that you can ask of USCIS to allow you to come back into the US after temporary travel abroad. And if you have DACA, there's like 3 limited categories through which you can file for advance parole, and you can travel, come back, get your stamp, and then file for adjustment of status with your spouse. Now, if you don't want to do that, your options are going to be limited if you don't have a legal entry. Now, something that we have done for several of our clients that have DACA, who are married to United States citizens, one of the first things that we ask is, how is your relationship? Are you having problems in your marriage? And I'm talking about, does your spouse ever get controlling? Do they ever kind of look down upon you? Do you feel like you are unequal in your marriage? And do you find yourself not speaking up for yourself because you are kind of worried about what will happen? Will your spouse divorce you? Will they use their status as a citizen against you? Maybe you have kids and you're worried about them taking the kids away, or they make comments to you that constantly make you feel ashamed and down on yourself. If you're a DACA holder and you do not have a lawful entry and your spouse makes you feel that way, makes you feel like you are unequal in your relationship and you're having other issues as a result, then it is time to explore to see if a VAWA self-petition might be an answer for you, okay? We have actually helped several people get a green card. Several of my clients who had DACA and no lawful entry, but they were married to a United States citizen, and they were told by other attorneys that there was no way for them to get a green card unless they left the US and did a waiver. Well, guess what? I found out that, through our process, through our screening process, we asked questions about what was happening, and we found out that there were issues, like deep issues in the marriage and relationship, and we offered, to file a self-petition, and now they have their green cards in hand. And they did not have to leave. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be the right option for everybody, but if deep down inside you're kind of admitting to yourself that yes, there are some problems you're having in your marriage that maybe you wouldn't have if you yourself were a citizen, it's time to look into this option, okay? And we would be happy to help talk to you to explore what's going on. You just have to be open to talking about those things, which can be difficult to accept. And it can be difficult to admit. And I just want to point out that it doesn't matter how much you love your spouse. We all love our spouse. Well, most of us love our spouses. You could still love somebody and they could still be hurting you at the same time. But now is the time to be doing what is necessary to protect yourself, right? Your love of your spouse is not going to protect you from getting deported. It's the bottom line. So if you want to talk to us, give us a call, 212-248-7907. Okay. Lydia is asking, what determines a T Visa Bonafide EAD and what are the processing timeframes? Lydia, my friend, I do have to admit to you, we don't know we have no idea what USCIS considers to be a bona fide T visa, because I have some amazing cases with clients with no problems, strong T visa cases for which we were denied bona fide determinations, and my clients could not get that early work permit. And then we have just a handful that have. And if you talk to immigration lawyers across the country who work on T visas, what they're going to tell you is that there is literally no rhyme or reason about when USCIS decides to give a bona fide determination to a T visa case. And we are not seeing consistency in the issuance of work permits for the bona fide determinations on a T visa. Now, the bona fide determination on a T visa has nothing to do with whether or not you will eventually get approved. So I just want to point that out. And second, since the beginning of the year, I know in my office, we haven't seen anything come out for bona fide determinations. So I really don't know how to answer the question about how long it takes to get that, because number one, we're just not seeing any get approved. Number two, even where it is approved, it's very, very inconsistent, and USCIS literally doesn't give us clear information about why they decide what they decide, okay? All right, guys, that's all the time that I have for today. I hope that this helped. Please do me a favor. If you found my information helpful, please share this video, this live, once I finish. You never know whose life it's going to help out, okay? And if you do want to talk to us, you do want a case evaluation, our case evaluation fee is $150. It's just a deposit. You get the money back whether you hire us or you decide not to go forward. We basically give you back the fees for the case evaluation. And you can call us at 212-248-7907 to make an appointment today, okay? My name is Mamita Rahman. Thank you so much. Good night and God bless.